We have a lot to discuss, fellas. You coming in here, make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the live stream, and it's much appreciated, and it's also free. Listen, we have a lot to dissect. Honestly, there's so much going. There's so many things coming out as far as rumors and the interviews with the new defensive coordinators, and it's a lot, man. All right, but we have to kick it off the right way. All right. I'm Weapon X. This is the Voice of the Eagles show. And like always, God bless those Philadelphia Eagles. But enough of that. Let's get right into the live stream. So let's kick it off right. Let's kick it off the right way, how it should be kicked off. Nick Sirianni is officially He's officially back. Now, this isn't a rumor or no, he's officially back. All right. There's a lot of speculations or rumors as to what was going to go on surrounding Nick Sirianni and his job security. Well, I mean, this this confirms that he will be back. Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman have a scheduled news conference with reporters on Wednesday. So Wednesday, we're going to hear from Nick Sirianni and we're going to hear from Howie Roseman. This happens pretty much every year after the end of the season, right? So they're right on schedule. Interesting to see that it's Nick Sirianni that I mean, he didn't get fired, right? Um, there was no official announcement that he's going to keep his job, or things was kind of kept under wrap as far as what they were going to do with Nick Sirianni, right? um I thought he was gone. I feel like everybody knows my theory, right? I feel like the team gave up on the season to get this guy fired. Okay, somehow he comes back, right? And I will say this with Nick Sirianni, I like some of the candidates for defensive coordinator. Okay, so it early on, as of right now, it looks okay. It looks like he just based off the coordinators that they're interviewing, and we're going to get right into that in a second. But we're moving forward with him. Okay, all right. Nick Sirianni has been exposed, right? The spotlight is on him now. Okay, so now, if anything, it accomplished that. We now see that Nick Sirianni, we see what he truly is, right? As a head coach, we see what a Nick Sirianni is. Uh, and as long as we know that, I feel like we're in good shape. Now, some of his candidates are extremely impressive. I appreciate that, bro. Much love to you. My mom fell down a flight of stairs last night. See, bro, I told you, I warned y'all, bro. AJ is leaving. We don't know that yet. Ivan, you funny, bro. You say, yep, Nick looking for associate puppets for offense coordinator, defense coordinator doing. I don't know, man. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that for sure. But Nick Sirianni is officially back. Now, some of the guys that are slated for interviews. Ron Rivera, he's a defensive coordinator. Okay. Now he was a head coach for the Washington Commanders. I honestly, personally, I like Ron Rivera. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He played for the '85 Bears. He won a Super Bowl as a player. Okay, he took the Panthers to the Super Bowl as a head coach. I don't know what's going on with Ron Rivera and his defense. If you look at the statistics, defensively for Washington, I don't know. It's kind of alarming when we look at um when we look at some of the statistics. You look at the team. I mean, you look at the defense yards per game. They're 32nd. They give up the most yards per game defensively. Yards per play, they're almost dead last at 31st. Third down and fourth down conversions, they're horrible. Okay, like they look just these statistics from Washington, where you see a guy like Ron Rivera coaching as the head coach. You hang your head on defense, Ron Rivera. Your defense looked terrible in Washington. Okay, that's my one knock on him. I mean, he was 16th and rushing yard. I mean, no, he was rushing yards allowed. He was 26th. I mean, it was bad. Rushing yards per game, 23rd. Yeah, they were terrible. Okay, they were terrible. The statistically passing, it wasn't no better. Yards per pass, 31st, 7.5 yards per pass. Passing yards per game, they're 24th, 32nd, 30th. Bro, these are horrible numbers defensively. Okay, I would say that when we're talking about when we're talking about a Ron Rivera. Okay, but I will say this: I really like Ron Rivera for a couple of reasons. Okay, I like Ron Rivera because he played in the NFL. He won a Super Bowl. Okay, and he won a Super Bowl with the 85 Bears, a historic team. Okay, he won a Super Bowl as a player. Okay, coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. I like Ron Rivera. Okay, I like Ron Rivera based off his prior playing history. The fact that Ron Rivera played in the NFL, the fact that he played in the NFL and won a Super Bowl with a historic Chicago Bears team, you can't take that away from him. You can't take that away from Ron Rivera. You absolutely can't take that away from this guy. All right. We can dive a bit deeper into Ron Rivera. We can dive a bit deeper. Okay, let's just really quick. Let's look at as a player. He played for the Chicago Bears from 1984 to 1992. One team won a Super Bowl. They drafted him. He played his whole career there with the Chicago Bears. And that was that. Okay, cool. As a coach, he coached Chicago Bears from 1997 to 1998, 1 year as a defensive quality controls coach. All right. So from there, he goes to Philly. So he coached in Philly. Okay. He was a coach in Philly from 1999 to 2003. Under who? Andy Reid. Okay. He was the linebackers coach. We need linebackers. Okay. Then he went from there. I mean, he always has a job. If he goes, he gonna always have a job, right? He went to the Bears, coached them as a defensive coordinator 2004 to 2006. Okay. Then he was the linebackers coach from the San Diego Chargers. The man always had a job. He gonna always have a job for some reason. Okay. Then you look, he go to San Diego right after wait, San Diego. No, he went from linebackers coach for San Diego Chargers and got promoted to the defensive coordinator in 1 year and was the defensive coordinator for 2 years. Okay. Impressive resume. Okay. All right. You played for a legendary team. You won a Super Bowl. I think he was the first Hispanic or Puerto Rican ever to play in the NFL and win a Super Bowl and do all these things. I mean, bro, you cannot knock his resume. I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, I'll be honest. Okay, he became a defensive coordinator for 2008, 2010. He got a promotion. Then he becomes the head coach of the Carolina Panthers for 8 years. And he had Cam, took him to the Super Bowl, always had a good defense. Hey, man, hey, hold on now. Hold your horses. I know in Washington was horrible. He was there, and Ron Rivera was in Washington for 3 years. And I mean, it felt like 10. He being in there, bro. Ooh, with everything that was going on, man, that's somewhere you just can't succeed at, right? With a Ron Rivera in Philly. Ooh, I like that, bro. It give me chills. Okay, because we ran down his some of his history, right? Just but even if we look at his playing career, The Chicago Bears selected him in the second round in the 1984 draft. Okay, he's playing in the rotation at linebacker and special teams. He became the first American of Puerto Rican descent to win a Super Bowl, and they beat the Patriots, won him a Super Bowl. All right, and I mean he was putting in work. He played 9 seasons. He had 392 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries, and 9 interceptions in a 9-year. I mean, he wasn't no scrub, nah. Okay, he wasn't no scrub. Okay, so I mean, come on, man, come on. I'm liking Mr. Rivera, and I'm liking Mr. Rivera. Okay, and then we went through the rundown with where he started his stints from Philly to Chicago, San Diego, then the Carolina Panthers, right? And the Carolina Panthers, they've had everywhere he's been, the defense has been good. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Or he built us. He can build the defense. That's one thing Ron Rivera can do is build the defense. Okay, now we can segue from Mr. Ron Rivera here in a second, because we also have a guy like a Mike Caldwell. All right. Now he's from a Todd Bowles system. You know, the Todd Bowles, the defense that beats us. We're 0-2 against them. Jalen Hurts is 0-2 against Todd Bowles. Right. So this guy, Mike Caldwell, comes from that same tree. Okay. Mike Caldwell, he comes from that same tree. He comes from the same tree as a Todd Bowles. And Todd Bowles, he's extremely, his defense, he definitely has one of the brilliant defensive minds in the NFL. Okay, he's innovative and he knows how to apply pressure. And you got somebody that's coming from, hey man, look, I'm telling you, this can be another guy, okay, that can make some noise with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, of course, we'll go through his history and kind of get a better glimpse of how he what he's done in his career. I believe he's played in the NFL. That's always a plus. He's played in the NFL. He's had success. He coached the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, so you're bringing in guys that they've been here before, right? So they know. I think that's kind of what you need. So Nick, I mean, hey, so far, Nick, I think I don't know, man. What I'm seeing right now from Nick Sirianni and the guys who he's interviewing, I like them. Okay, I like them because they've all played. Okay, we're gonna look into Mike Caldwell in a second. But let me run through some of y'all comments. Let's see. Get him out there. Yep. Nick, okay, I read those. Get this man to 1 million subs. Oh, that'd be crazy, bro. Smart move on Howie's part. If the new hires don't work, Nick takes the blame this time. Yeah. And he should have he's taking the blame now for sure. It was the fact that it was so close with him being fired was crazy. But hey, man, it was definitely a topic. So we did our job as a fan base, right? We gotta, hey, you're not doing a really good job, man. Right. And so he's definitely on the hot seat now. And that's really all we can ask for. All this potential in our team and the staff is holding us back. That's for the last 2 years. Ron Rivera, no. Why not, man? We can chop it up. I mean, we can chop it up, man. If you need the link, I can give you the link, bro. You can pull up. We can chop it up. We got the same Jalen Hurts picture. Who is it? Yeah, we do. Let's see. Why are we trying to make him defensive coordinator with the defensive stats? I mean, Washington was they gave up the most total yards okay, in the NFL on defense. So they were, yeah. But I mean, again, bro, when you're in Washington, it sucks all your life out of you, man. It's just like the environment is just losing, right? So I mean, sometimes when you're in a right situation, okay, I feel like not as a lesser. Okay, Ron Rivera as a head coach. No, let's kind of put him at let him take a step back from the game, right, and see the game and just be the defensive coordinator, right, and that you take a lot of pressure off of a Ron Rivera, and I think if he's only the defensive coordinator, I think he will have Philadelphia in shape, man. I really do. I really do, bro. I mean, you look at the front seven he's built with Washington. Washington had one of the best front sevens in the NFL. You look at a Chase Young and some of those guys. So I remember Ryan Kerrigan. That's early on when they had some pieces over there in that front seven. I'm not gonna lie to you. So but again, I mean, just his pedigree. He's one of he look real quick, bro. Real quick about I just want to backtrack here real quick. Ron Rivera, man. Honestly, with Ron Rivera, when you look at Ron Rivera, he's won a Super Bowl. Okay. He's played in the NFL and he wasn't a slouch. So that type of pedigree, and you look at his resume, it can't be denied. He won a Super Bowl, went to a Super Bowl as a coach. He's had top 5 defenses. Hey, we know what we look, man. If you know ball, you look at his pedigree. I promise you, that defense, he gonna have him whipped into shape, bro. I'm telling you. And he's played. He's won a Super Bowl. The defense is gonna automatically respect that type of a caliber of a guy. Okay, and if you can give him a lesser role, not a head coach. Head coach, you got to do too much. If he's just at a lesser role as a defensive coordinator, it takes so much pressure off of him. I think when you take a step back from the game, you kind of see it differently, and then you can, But I think Ron Rivera, I personally think Ron Rivera is a great fit. He's an old school guy. He was with Andy Reid. He was on Andy Reid's staff. Okay, now, real quick. Let's backtrack here a second. Okay, because there was a comment that got me, wanting to you look at. We went down his history. Okay, his coaching career. He coached the Philadelphia Eagles. He was the linebackers coach in 1999. Right. So I mean, our linebackers are in shambles. Our linebackers are horrible. If we come on back to Philly, Andy Reid, he was under Andy Reid. He had Jeremiah Trotter. We know who Jeremiah Trotter is. Okay, so there are some ties rooted to. I think is there. I think is there. Honestly, I'm not going to judge Ron Rivera too much on what happened in Washington. Okay, Washington was just. I mean, it's somewhere you don't want to be ever. Okay, it's one of those places when it comes to football. So, I mean, on his resume alone, listen, he was only there for 3 years. It felt like 10. It was only 3 years he was there in Washington. It felt like 10. That's how bad that whole football organization is. No head coach can do anything about it. And nobody should want this job with the Washington Command. Look, bro, that place is cursed. Okay, no one should go there. They should just take that team away from Washington. That's how horrible they've been. They can't even figure out a name. Their mascot is a pig. Their mascot is a pig, bro. Nobody wants to be in Washington, bro. Nobody. I wouldn't even want to visit there, bro. I wouldn't want to go there. What? Like it's like it's one of those places for the NFL football. They are cursed, man. For real. They changing their name every year. They got a new name. I don't even know what to call them. And I'm saying I still be calling them Redskins. Like they the Washington Redskins. You know, it is what it is. That's what I call them. But yeah, you don't want to be there. The 3 years he was there, it felt like 10, man. A Ron Rivera in Philly. That is, I think he's our guy, bro. Okay. I just think there's a lot there. He's the first one that was announced to, get the gig. He's familiar with the division. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely looking like it may. He's my guy right now. Okay, now there is someone else. And again, we were diving right into that. But the thing with McDaniel is I know his coaching tree, right? He comes underneath Ty Balls, all right. As a player, Mike Caldwell, he played for the Cleveland Browns from 1993 to 1995 from 2 years. Played for the Baltimore Ravens in 1996, and then after that, a year later, went to the Cardinals, and he played for the Eagles from 1998 to 2001. Okay, so he got some years out of the Eagles. Then he went to the Bears in 2002, then the Carolina Panthers in 2003, and then that was it. Right? He came back as a coach for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2008 as a defensive quality control coach. Okay. From there, he did it from 2008, 2009. Then he got promoted to the assistant linebacker coach. All right. Then he got promoted again to the linebackers coach. Then he went to Cardinals to be the inside linebacker coach. This is all in consecutive years, 2013, 2014. And then from 2015, he lands with the Jets for 3 years as the assistant head coach. So when you're the assistant head coach, you're getting groomed to become a head coach, right? So he's the assistant head coach and the inside linebacker coach, right? So these guys are listen, here's a common theme. Here's a nugget for you, okay? Here's a common theme with both of these guys. They with McDaniel and with Ron Rivera, they both have extensive history with what? Linebackers. They're linebacker coaches. Right. This is what they came into the NFL as. This is what they specialize in. Right. And that's our biggest weakness. Okay. So there's a great correlation there. I like where they're headed with both of these type of guys. And Ron Rivera and with Caldwell. Okay. Okay. So and then he used the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive coordinator. Well, let's take a step back. He was so after 2018, from his 3-year stint with the Jets, he goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with his protege, okay, his sensei, Ty Balls, and we know Ty Balls been whooping us in the playoffs, right? So he was the inside linebackers coach, and all of his linebackers are dogs, right? I like him because I know he know who's a real linebacker and where to get these Hall of Fame caliber linebackers. Because these linebackers, they don't just change the entire game in itself. They can single-handedly make you elite, especially if you have 2 of them. If you have 2 elite level linebackers, your defense is going to be really, really spectacular. And then he was the defensive coordinator for 1 year with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, now with the Jacksonville Jaguars, let's dive a little deeper up in this thing. Okay, let's look at the stats. Okay, from Mike Caldwell. Let's look at the stats. This previous season, his defense looks good, way better than Ron Rivera's. Okay, yards per rush, they're 15th in the NFL. Rushing yards per game, they were ninth. Okay, they were ninth. You look at the opponent's rushing yards per game, were ninth, right? They were ninth in both categories, pretty much the same category. All right, let's look at the passing statistics. Now, statistically, passing and completion percentage, they were 19th. So there's still a lot of work that they need to do in that category. All right. Yards per game, they were 26. That's much better than being dead last with Ron Rivera. Okay. And sacks, they're at 27. Okay. So when you look at their stats for both defenses, okay, you look at Ron Rivera's defensive stats. They're worse. Okay, they're really bad. They're like dead last in a lot of categories here, or close to dead last. All right, the Jaguars defense wasn't that much better. Okay, they weren't that much better. They were better, but I mean, if we're judging these head coaches off of what they've done last year, I don't want any of them. Okay, so I get Pro Fan Talk's point when he says Rivera, no. If you're going off of last year with these two guys, I understand. All right. So I'm kind of reserved. And I look more so at the entire history of I look at their resume in its totality, right? I think both of these guys have ties with Philadelphia. But I'm going with Ron Rivera, bro. I know one of those type of coaches. As a player, you resonate with them, bro. You just resonate with them. I think okay. Well, they're gonna look at other coordinators, okay. But if I'm comparing these two, it's tough indeed. I would probably lean towards Ron Rivera. He's an old school, hard nosed coach. He's won a Super Bowl with the Bears. He's on one of the best one of the most historic teams in NFL history. Okay, he got a Super Bowl. He's been to a Super Bowl as a player and a coach. I mean, you can't that in itself. And you look at his resume. I mean, his resume is outstanding, dog. I promise you, it's Ron Rivera for me. I would already have him hired. I would have him hired and getting him ready for the season. Honestly. I know he's going to build our front seven. I know he's going to have. I don't know. I just like Ron Rivera right now. Until they have other guys who they bring in the interviews, they're going to interview more guys. Okay, but I like both of these guys, man. If we can put Ron Rivera in in a Matt Patricia type of a role, because the Eagles you like to do that with like their defense, have someone else there. So if you can hire both of these guys, or give Ron Rivera that role of a Matt Patricia, or however they do it, right? However they figure that out. Let's look at some of these comments. Give me Wink Martindale or Mike Call. Okay, I'm going Wink. I'm going Wink. Pro Fan Talk. I'm going Wink all day, every day, and I'm definitely going Wink. That's that. But I don't know if we can get Wink Martindale. I feel like with the Philadelphia Eagles, with the I wouldn't say first come, first serve, but I mean, I feel like they already know what. I mean, they already kind of know what they already got a plan, and in order for that plan to be in motion, they got to be proactive. I think the first couple guys who they interview are going to be their top choices. So I think it'll be between these guys. They want this figured out early. They're trying to get on top of this. They're going to do their diligence, right? But I think they want to get on top of this fast. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of want to. Because you got teams that are still playing. And when the Super Bowl is over, you want to have your coaches hired or in place. This type of stuff you got to get rid of. You got to get on top of it quick. So I think the faster you're going to see a lot of moves that are going to be made. And once you get the report, right, I feel like because the Philadelphia Eagles, I feel like they want to get this. They want to get this right. They have a plan, and I feel like they're going to be extremely proactive. They're going to be diligent. I hope so. I hope so. So the first two guys, I think is going to. I think it'll be between one of these two guys for sure. I'm at work. Can't listen to the stream. It's all good, my boy. I ain't tripping. Um, fellas and ladies, Weapon X. Just so you know, hi Weapon X, new subscriber here. Do you have any idea if Jim Bob Cooter is good? I don't know, bro. His name is freaking hilarious, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, man. The name is just so hilarious to me, dog. Big Jim Bob Cooter. I mean, with a name like that, I would. Why not? Yeah, that'd be crazy. Just have to say that name, Jim Bob Cooter, and one of my titles on my live stream. Philadelphia Eagles signed Jim Bob Cooter. That's the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. Come on, man. That just sounds so hilarious to me. I'll be honest with you. That's hilarious, dog. Um, I always said to my I call my husband, we've been together 18 years, but we're not legally married. That's why we're still together. Sorry for the side note. I always have said Ron Rivera is a great coach. Yeah, I don't know all the other shit. But yeah. Right. I like his resume. I like his resume. He's a player. He's won a Super Bowl as a player, and he produced on the field. So I think you gotta respect a guy like that because he's played and won. Right. So I would like that type of Myron. What's the word, bro? I would like that type of energy in the locker room. Caldwell will make a nice candidate too. Yeah, he will. He is from the Jim Johnson defensive tree. Played the wheel position back then, and also was a special teams ace under John Harbaugh. Yeah, bro. Okay, yep, that's a great point because I was looking at Caldwell. I was looking at like his playing career, and it says Philip Caldwell was hired. Well, this is his coaching career, but his playing career, from 1998 to 2001, he played with the Philadelphia Eagles, accumulating 221 tackles. So that's really solid. 5 sacks and 3 interceptions. In 2002, he went to the Chicago Bears, where he had 61 tackles and 3 sacks before closing out his career with the Panthers appearing in just 9 games. He didn't. If you look at his resume, I think Ron Rivera has a much better resume. Uh, as far as from the playing aspect, and Ron Rivera went to a Super Bowl as a coach as well. Um, wait, so actually, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when they went to the Super Bowl, he was on their staff. So he's won a Super Bowl as a head coach too. So these two guys are Super Bowl winning coaches. Okay. And Tampa, they got Devin White over there, and they got some, hey, you gotta who's working with Devin White? All right, that's McDaniel. So I again, these are really, if I had to choose between the two, again, that's tough. That's tough, honestly. That's a tough one. I'll be fair. That's a tough one. Um, but I'm pleasantly surprised with the candidates as of right now. No matter Patricia Rowe, we need a stable defensive coordinator that isn't a yes man. Yes, we do. We do. We need a legit defensive coordinator. We need a legit defensive coordinator. Caldwell will make a nice candidate too. He is from. Oh yeah, I read that comment. Okay, I read that one. Anything but Ron Rivera. Anything. Yo, nobody rock with Ron Rivera, man. Can't go wrong with Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale is Wink. Okay, Wink is the consensus on everybody's wish list, right? He's consensus number one. He's on the top of everybody's wish list that needs a defensive coordinator. Okay, so we know that. I don't think we get Wing Martindale, right? And that's our guy. We know that's our guy. We know that's our guy. He blitz like Jim Johnson. He's it. He's the guy defensively. But I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to speak too much on it, right? But Wink Martindale's definitely the guy. It'll be a dream come true, man. I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. Are we good though? What you mean? Eagles 2024 season, better. It should be much better. How you feel about Josh McDaniel or no, I don't want anyone to. I definitely don't want Josh McDaniels. No. I seen him. I seen him in like with some of these guys when you see him last year, like we seen him with the Raiders. We see Ron Rivera with Washington, and it gives you like a nasty taste in your mouth, right? But Josh McDaniels, as an offensive coordinator, he may be really good. Like the head coaching thing is different. All right, as an offensive coordinator or as a coordinator, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, right? You don't have the pressure or the added workload of being the head coach. Okay, so some head coaches, some guys who get head coaching jobs and it don't pan out, it's just because they're better at being the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. So I think Josh McDaniels is a better coordinator. Okay, I think he's a better offensive coordinator. I think some of these guys are better. Ron Rivera, I think he's a damn good head coach. Okay, but I think as a defensive coordinator, I think he'll be really good. Right. So I think when you put some of these guys, when you take some of that, I said it early in the stream, you take some of that added pressure away from guys. Okay, they try the head coaching gig, it don't work out. Put it back in their original roles, and I think they'll be much better off. They'll be way better off. Wink is no joke, man. Even if you look at McDaniel, you look at Mike McDaniel. Mike Caldwell. Sorry, he comes from a tie ball scheme, and Todd Bowles, all he does is blitz. So, when you looking at Wink Martindale, he's blitz happy. Mike Caldwell is the same exact way, right? In a sense. So if you want blitzing and pressure, oh yeah, these are. I think you lean towards a Mike Caldwell if you want pressure or blitzing and stuff like that. You seen some say Greg Roman as offensive coordinator, kind of that's a dude from the Saints. No, we good, man, we good on that. I'm okay. And Nick being back, so are we good? What you mean? Are we good with the? Are we good with the OC and defensive coordinator? No, the Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson is out. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna speak on Brian Johnson. All right, I'm gonna speak on Brian Johnson. He's out. Okay, he's not coming back to the Eagles. Brian Johnson is out. All right. Brian Johnson, he's done. Yeah, he's done. He's done. He's not coming back. He'll have a capacity. Okay, per Derek Gunn, all indications are Brian Johnson will not return as the Eagles offensive coordinator. He will land elsewhere in some offensive capacity. All right, so he's not coming back. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles aren't going to fire him because they want him to get another job so they can get the compensatory picks. If they fire him, we don't get any picks. Okay, we don't get any draft picks. So when he finds another job, we're going to get some really good draft picks out of that. We're going to get some good draft capital. But he's done. He's done. The news with Brian Johnson should be coming up probably within the next couple days, if not now. Most likely after the Super Bowl. Most likely, definitely after the Super Bowl. But yeah, Brian Johnson is he's done. Okay, this dude is it's over with. All right, the Brian Johnson experiment, whatever you want to call it, he's out. Brian Johnson is out. Eagles rebuild, man. They got to figure out these coaches before they window close to win a Super Bowl. Okay, that's really all it is. Ryan runs a 4-6. I don't know what defense he runs. If he runs a 4-6, that'll be crazy right now in this day and age in the NFL. Running a 4-6. Caldwell's cool on defense. Yeah, he's okay. Eagles rebuild, no typical how we move. Do you have faith in this rebuild with the Eagles? It's not necessarily a rebuild. You just retool. You try to find the right coaches, the right coordinators that's going to be here and build. Greg Roman was offensive coordinator for the Ravens before and coached with the Texans, Bills. Oh yeah, I don't think Greg Roman would be a fit because first off, I don't even know what he did last year. What did he do? What did he do last year? Did he even coach last year? We have players on both sides, bro. We have players on both sides. Can you elaborate? Yeah, we have players on both sides. Good players on both sides. Yeah, for sure. But if coaches are just coming here and either getting fired or moving on, then I mean, where's the stability in this organization? Right? You just bringing in different coaches and different man. You gotta you gotta hire within and you within the family, within the organization. That's why you hire Denard Wilson. That's why you hire a Deuce Staley. That's why you hire certain guys that's already in the facility because and now they're more committed or more they they'll show more allegiance to the team, right? And they'll say, you know what, I'm gonna stay here a couple more years, right? Or it's just sometimes it's just really a matter of how you do business, honestly. And I hope the Philadelphia Eagles can find their coordinators some young innovative guys. I know one thing. Everything hinges on these coaches they hire, man. For real, this is it all hinges on this. I kind of like the DC from the Falcons. Yeah, but again, based on who the Philadelphia Eagles are set to have interviews with, is only two guys right now. Okay, so I can't really speculate on who they're not interviewing. Right? If they haven't interviewed them, if they haven't scheduled an interview, I'm not going to speak on it because it may or may not happen. We know for sure we have two surefire candidates, and I think it may be between one of these two dudes. I think the Eagles are going to get this done quick, and I think they already know who that guy is. I wouldn't take Ron. I think it's going to be Ron Rivera. Honestly, it hinges on the coaches. Facts. It definitely hinges on the coaches. This is huge. This is going to be huge. Again, I personally believe that the Philadelphia Eagles they can't continue to endure like offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, coaching here for 1 year and then leaving. That's something that just simply cannot happen. It simply cannot happen. But Brian Johnson is for sure, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, he's gone. All right, he's gone. Okay. Uh, and here's something else. Okay. Now, all right, I'm going to address this because for a couple reasons. Mainly because I feel as though it should be addressed. Okay, it should be addressed. And Jalen Hurts leadership issues. Now, before I even get into this hit piece, this article that references so many sources about Jalen Hurts and his leadership, I'm gonna just kick it off and say no one can to even try to question Jalen Hurts' character is shocking. All right. Now, there has been reports about Jalen Hurts, his leadership abilities, his ability to be available for the team, for his teammates, and at times acting like a B word. I promise you, this is a literal. I mean, it's such a long right. This is from Bleeding Green Nation. All right, so look, I'm gonna show you guys where I'm getting this from, so you don't think this is just this is from Jay Santaliquido. He's from Bleeding Green Nation. He's of Bleeding Green This is like a hit piece. Not really a hit piece, but he's citing sources and he claims to have a lot of insight. Um and and it's a long article. Again, if you guys want to read it, you can go to Philadelphia Eagles Central. He posted, and then this is the guy who Jay Santalaquido. He is a Emmy nominated sports writer slash editor of ringtv.com and BWAA president. Look, when people do stuff like this, they just be trying to hype up their name title, right? And it just sounds so irrelevant. I don't know what he said Emmy nominated sports writer. Bro, all right, bro, you gonna gas yourself up. Boxing writers, okay, okay. So I'm gonna just take it as whoever this guy is. Let's say he has some sources, and in the Philadelphia Eagles locker room or whoever his sources are. Breakdown of the Eagles' historic 2003 downfall. A closer look at the 2003 Philadelphia historic collapse. Now, he just posted this 4 minutes ago. But yo, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. The one that the article that he had did he post? Is this the same article or is it But here's what I do. I'll just point out some of his main points with his article, right? And I'll read them. This is pretty much what he said in his article. The article was long. I didn't even read the whole article, dog. I couldn't even read the whole article. All right, but sources close to and around the team says Jalen Hurts should have been a better leader this season, and at times was described as detached, stoic, isolated, and unapproachable. Says Jay Santa. Well, I just showed you guys where to find him and read the article. Okay, and unapproachable, right? A source on the Eagles described Jalen Hurts as a good dude who sometimes doesn't realize. Sometimes doesn't realize when he's acting like a prima donna expletive. I don't know what they said. They could have said a prima donna, a prima donna, whatever. All right. Now again, I don't know his sources. This dude could have just created. I don't know, but yo, you just these are one of those things to where it's gonna come out. Whatever happened this season, it's going to come out, right? So I mean, it's gonna start piecing together, and this is just one of those. I don't know. I'm calling it a hit piece. You guys have to read it. It was extremely long. It got to a point where I'm like, yeah, but this was just this is just the gist of it, okay? And I'll read it again. Sources close to and around the team says Jalen Hurts should have been a better leader this season, and at times was described as detached, stoic, isolated, and unapproachable. unapproachable. I cannot see Jalen Hurts with this type of like behavior, honestly. But hey, when you get money, that shit kind of change and people change around you. So you have to change. So maybe this is a different Jalen to where, hey, bro, maybe people start acting different. Or I don't know I really don't know what's going on, but this is not the first report, that was questioning Jalen Hurts, his leadership, right? Or how, like, just some of his body language on the field, they began to question. I think is absolutely wild and outrageous because you look at what Jalen Hurts has been through since college. Like he's the ultimate. There's no way I can ever believe. Maybe this. Let's say this is true, right? There has to be a reasoning as to why he's this way. Right, some has to have happened for him to feel like because dudes are all time. He was literally benched in a championship game, and then was the ultimate teammate. Was congratulating he wasn't sulking on the sideline, being bitter. He was upbeat and happy for his teammate. He came back, competed to win his job back, lost it, sat on the bench. His replacement got hurt, and he came in and won a championship for them. Like, bro, a guy of that type of character, it's hard to even believe that he would just be like a prima donna or what other words they use. You guys will legit have to go check out the whole thing, the whole read or whatever, man. And he's talking. This guy, his Twitter, it's Jay Santiliquido of Bleeding Green, Bleeding Green, right? You guys have to check it out. I mean, he says he doesn't name any of his sources. So, but again, some stuff you listen and you're like, okay, yeah, whatever, and you kind of like continue to piece things together and see what's being said. And it's whatever happens gonna come out. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. We're gonna figure out what happened because this was an epic collapse, and it's gonna come out. So it's gonna be a lot of it. There's gonna be some fabricated stuff, some stuff you're gonna have to take with a grain of salt. But overall, my eyes and ears are definitely open. I'm gonna figure out what happened because it's gonna come out. That's my thing. It's gonna come out. So, there. I mean, it was a pretty long read. Again, you could find an article uh on his on his Twitter. But let's get into let's see some of the comments. Let's see some of the comments. I think the media is turning Hurts into Carson. Um, that's gonna always be a thing. It's unfortunate. Let's see. Yeah, Wink, that's our guy. BJ ran a high-powered offense with the Florida Gators featuring Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask motion. Yeah. Yeah, but it didn't look like that this year, so it make me think it was really Howie Roseman with his hand all in a cookie jar. I believe BJ got scapegoated by Nick. Yeah, I said that a couple times, bro. I agree with you. Yep. Yeah. I mean, wait. No, I want no. I'm thinking. I'm not. I think I wouldn't say scapegoated. Right. I think Deshaun Desai was scapegoated. I think Brian Johnson. He is he's going to be a head coach or an offensive coordinator somewhere else. Right. Just based off the performance of the Eagles players alone. But yeah, Nick Sirianni, he's in the way, so you can't really tell how bad Brian Johnson really was because Nick had his hand in the play calling. BJ is out. So who is next at the offensive coordinator for the Eagles? I have no clue. I promise you. Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni called plays. Why don't you just say, you know what? I'm going to be calling the plays this year. Go call a game, Nick. Until then, nobody's going to respect him. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I would if I would hear Nick was calling the plays, because now if this goes bad, everybody's point we know is you. We already know is Nick is definitely not a great caliber of a head coach. But if he can say, you know what, I'm a call plays. I'm a announce that I will be the play caller. I will respect him more, and I think the players will too. You go call the plays, then you call the plays. Hey, it should be Nick Sirianni. Okay, I wouldn't hire an offensive coordinator. I would let Nick Sirianni be the offensive coordinator. Let him do the play calling. Yes, that's what I would do. This man should be he should be ready to call plays at some point, bro. What's taking you so long? I think the media is turning on Hurts. I think the media is turning Hurts into Carson. They're trying to. In that article, they kind of spoke on Carson and some things like the differences, stuff like that. But bro, it's wild. It's a hit piece, man. It's a hit piece. But it's always interesting to see how people feel about Jalen Hurts, right? And now you kind of see that dude had an amazing year, right? So yeah, I mean he had turnovers and his team didn't, do what they should have. But I mean, he had a really good year. He had a really good year. He had a MVP like year, outside of the turnovers. He had a really great year. They definitely disrespecting Jalen. He had a rough season, but still finished as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Yeah. Bro, it's gonna always be hate with Jalen. It's gonna always be hate. They didn't say that when Jalen was balling out last season. They didn't. Of course, man, they gonna wait. Even in the Super Bowl, they was giving him his flowers. But man, that's what comes with it. That's what comes with being Jalen Hurts, right? So it was expected. Something definitely went on with Jalen. Definitely looked out of it. Sometimes, yeah. Even when Jake Elliott made a game time field goal, Jalen Hurts was on the sideline shaking his head. So there are times where he looks dejected and just like out of touch with, right? I mean, but that's how he's always been. So it's like let's not try to. He's been like this the whole time. I take that back because last season he was dancing and smiling. Right, he was dancing and smiling. Okay, I'll show you. I'll show you guys something. Right, I'll show you guys a picture. Okay, I'll show you guys a picture, and I want you guys to really look at this picture. Okay, and what do you see? Real quick, look at this picture. What do you see? What do you see in this picture I just put up? We better get a replacement for AJ. Look, I'm gonna get to that comment, bro. Good. I'm gonna get to that comment. But I want to know, what do you guys see in this picture? What do you see? What do you see? CJ, obviously. Obviously, we see CJ. Yeah, great point. Yeah, we see CJ. What do you guys see in this picture? What do you guys see in this picture? That's my only question. Definitely more happy and excited. Thank you. What do you guys see in this picture? You see Jalen Hurts smiling with his teammate. Happy. Happiness. That's what you see. We see happiness. He smile. I mean, bro, and even in the game where he had the game winning touchdown, he like, what do you expect me to? What do you want me to say? Right when they gave him the phone, it's like, bro, he I mean, bro, he made 250 million. Of course, you're gonna change, right? Hey, look, of course you're gonna change, Jalen. You should feel yourself, man. You should have that type of an energy to where, yeah, I'm not as accessible to people anymore, bro. I got 250 million. I'm not even mad at if he's changed. Good, good, good. That's how I want him. That's how I want Jalen. If these reports are true, if these reports are true about Jalen Hurts, guess what? Sources close to and around the team says Jalen Hurts should have been a better leader this season. At times, he was described as detached, stoic, and isolated. I would have felt the same way too, and I would be unapproachable. Stay away from me, y'all. Playing like shit. Okay, I'm not happy about none of this. You gonna feel it. Step your shit up. Okay, I'm cool with it. So there, you can't paint a bad picture about a guy like Jalen Hurts. You can't. I'm sorry, you can't. We all know you can't do it. It's so like you. I mean, you look at this track. You look at what happened with him in college. It's like, bro, you can't. Yeah, I mean, his character is unmatched. Right? So it's unmatched. If he feels this way, it's a reason he feels this way. We got to get it together. All right. We got to get it together. The offense sucks. Play call and the coordinators. This shit ain't looking right. Yeah, I'm gonna be unapproachable too. Right? I'm gonna feel a type of way. Okay. But I mean, I think that kind of energy, I don't know, man. Jalen is still learning. So I feel like we may have needed a little bit more of this from you, Jalen. We wouldn't have needed. This is a great psyche. We want to see you happy. Want to see you smiling, bro. I mean, come on. I mean, you guys are 10-1 at one point. I mean, he had a game-winning run, and he was just like, What do you want me to say?" Like, what the? He's really stoic. But I mean, that's what I like about him. That's what I like about him. He's never too high, never too low. Yeah, now I mean, the year we went to the Super Bowl, he was dancing around and happier. But other than that, he was still the same. Maybe the Eagles need some. Maybe Jalen needs to, as far as being a leader. Maybe he needs to be more vocal. I think he needs to be more vocal. Honestly, okay, that's contagious. That type of energy. That type of energy is contagious. So I mean, maybe they well, as far as leadership issues, I don't know about leadership issues, but there's different ways you lead depending on what type of team that you have. Okay, maybe this year we needed a Jalen Hurts that was, you know, in people's face and rally, and getting hyped up, sometimes you need that from your guy. Okay, so Jalen's still young, he's learning. I would love to see that. It will hype me up, hype the team up, hype everybody up. We need to. I mean, the stoic thing again. I'm cool with having you lead. Everybody lead in their own way, but I think at times when the guy who leads and by example is kind of chill and quiet, when you get that guy to like when he just riled up, that hype you up 20 times more than anything. It gives you so much energy because this guy is usually quiet. So at times in the season, I think Jalen actually needed to be more of a vocal leader at times, right? And I think he'll learn from that. But man, when you look at this picture, you see Jalen happy. You see Jalen happy. You see him smiling. We didn't see much of that this year. So I mean, maybe the reports are. I mean, it was a rough season. Last year was much more of a breeze, right? This year, it was a lot of turmoil and stress. So of course, things got rough. Okay, he's human. Again, I don't knock him at all. I don't knock him at all. All right, but I know he'll learn from it again. And everybody got different ways of leading. At times, Jalen may have to be more vocal. Hit piece, I'm not really for it. I'm not really for the hit piece with with Jalen Hurts. I'm not a candidate. I don't subscribe to that type of stuff. Because if you my quarterback, I don't care if you trash, I'm gonna support you. If you've been a quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, you have my utmost loyalty, and I'm going back. I'm going to side with you, and I'm going back. Right now, if you play trash, I'm gonna say it, but I'm always you got to support your quarterback. And Jalen has proven that he can perform when it matters most. But things just some things just don't really. At times, it don't really go your way, and you can use that to learn and get better. And I think they'll do that. I have never seen his teeth before. A lot of beat writers, analysts blaming everyone except the main culprit, Sirianni. Yeah, they were. Man, he's getting his fair share of heat. Uh, but people are talking, man. I remember one play when Nick Sirianni told Jalen, "I called the play because I trust you." Jalen's response was, "You should." Yeah, absolutely, man. It was always some friction. I feel like it was some friction. Yeah, when your coach is the head cheerleader. He's definitely a cheerleader. Hurts needs to go back to Cali with Palmer and House again, work on himself as a QB because he didn't stink, man. I mean, come on, bro. He had a lot of turnovers, but he wasn't bad. He was the MVP at one point in the season. Jalen is around my son's age, young and definitely still learning. Yeah, he's learning. And he knows like the standard. He say he learned that the standard changes from year to year, right? So and depending on the team, right? And he said he learned that. So he's young. He's gonna Jalen's gonna figure this thing out. Trust me. Right now they just got to get the right guy. They got to get the right piece around him. They got to get some. They got to get him really good offensive coordinator. I've been an Eagles fan since I was 12 years old. I'll be 49 in June. I'm riding regardless. We'll support the squad and critique them too. Yeah, facts. And that's really what it's all about. It's about constructive criticism, but also being honest with yourself and everyone else, especially as it relates to the expectations of the team. Right. So there's always that. You got to be honest with yourself. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, I think it's closing in on them. I think this thing is closing. If they don't figure out their defensive coordinator, this window is going to close really vastly. It's going to close fast, and we're going to be like, "What happened?" And you don't want that. And we know how it is when these when you got a Super Bowl caliber roster, got an elite level roster, you gotta finish the job off eventually. Okay, you gotta finish the job off eventually. This window in the NFL closed, and right now the Philadelphia Eagles' biggest flaw is their coaching. They need a defensive coordinator and they need an offensive coordinator. These guys have to be elite with a track record that exhibits or shows or prove that they are actually as good as their resume suggests. Okay, both these guys, these defensive coordinators that the Philadelphia Eagles are scheduled to interview, Ron Rivera. I mean, his resume is impeccable. All right, he won a Super Bowl as a player on the Chicago Bears and the 85 Bears, a historic team as a player. First Puerto Rican to ever win a Super Bowl. He's been to the Super Bowl as a coach. Lost with the Carolina again. He was coaching the Carolina Panthers. Lost the Super Bowl with Cam Newton, but had a top 5 defense for multiple years there. Okay, you look at you, and then you look at Mike Caldwell. He's coming from the Jaguars. He was a guy he's underneath the Todd Bowles tree. And we know what Todd does to us in the playoffs. We know he applies pressure. We know he's a really elite level head coach, defensive coordinator. He's a brilliant mind in the NFL, right? Got a Super Bowl, probably got a couple Super Bowls, got him a Super Bowl. And yeah, his coaching tree, this is his protege right here, Mike Caldwell. He blitz like Wink Martindale. Okay. He gonna send pressure. He's great with linebackers, right? He has his championship with the Bucks. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, he might. These are some really solid candidates. These are some solid candidates. He's defensive coordinator for for the Jaguars for 1 year last year. Okay, you need time to create and build, and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I don't really. Yeah, and there's also Denard Wilson, former Eagles cornerbacks coach from last year. He's going to be on the market for a defensive coordinator gig. So everything is going to all play out. But as of right now, I mean, I like where they're headed as far as where their head is with some of these coordinators. I like where their head is. All right. With a Denard Wilson, I like where their head is. I like it. With a Ron Rivera, again, I love it. I love it. I love it. These guys, they've won Super Bowls. All right. They've both won Super Bowls. And they coached for the Eagles, played for the Eagles. So yeah, these are really, really good. This for someone who is I'm completely still not sold. Okay. But this is a great starting point. If the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to sell me to believe that they can actually go back to the Super Bowl and win it, this is a great start with just their candidates alone, with on the defensive side of the ball. But I mean, offensive coordinator, I have no idea what they're going to do with offensive coordinator, but I know for sure Brian Johnson is he's definitely gone. Right? He's gone. He's going to find another gig. He got another gig lined up somewhere, okay? It's either the Titans or the Falcons. I don't think it's the Falcons. I think it may be the Titans. He may get a gig with the Titans. He had his interviews with the Titans and the Falcons. So I think the Falcons are in play for all of the top guys. They've been doing. They already had second interviews with Bill Belichick, for sure. If I'm not mistaken, Harbaugh as well. I think they had two. They had the first and the second interview, so the Falcons are definitely they definitely have a heads up on the entire NFL. I don't think he goes to the Falcons. The Titans might be the only fit, or he can maybe get an offensive coordinator job somewhere else. If he gets a head coaching job, that'll be crazy. Imagine Brian Johnson gets a head coaching job and he has his offense calling the plays in the NFL looking extraordinary. I would be that's just our luck. I would be so flabbergasted. We'll have Brian Johnson, who's been trash with the Philadelphia Eagles, be a head coach somewhere else and be immaculate calling plays. That's just our luck, man. You look at Jonathan Gannon was horrible here down the stretch, but just horrible. Period. Right against quality NFL quarterbacks, just horrible. Right, and couldn't beat a top 10 quarterback to save his life. He's in Arizona with a head coaching job. Shane Steichen was the only guy who I feel like was dominant at his job of calling plays. But all these other guys who's getting jobs because of the success of the Philadelphia Eagles, man, they frauds. Brian Johnson, bro, when he's gonna get a head coaching job after looking horrible here, right now, some of that was Nick Sirianni, but hey, man, your work is on that. You call. They say you call the play, so. Yeah, man, it's you. I wouldn't. I'm surprised his offense looked like this. His offense should never have looked like this. Not even how he gonna go somewhere else and he gonna run his true offense and he's gonna look like a brilliant coach. That's exactly what's gonna happen, bro. And we gonna be sick. Like, why can't you guys just be good with the Eagles? right? Like, why you just can't be good with the Eagles? Hurts needs to go back to. I read that. I read that. I read that. Let's see what's going on. Let's see some of the comments real quick. Get this man a 1 mil subs, man. Just everybody, if you want to just drop a like. Let's start with that. Denard Wilson should have been the defensive coordinator this year. That's what they say. People advocate for him, and the player, Darius Slay advocated for him. So yeah, you got to hire within. I always say that if you want any type of loyalty, you don't want these guys just offensive coordinators just a revolving door with coordinators just coming in and out. You got to hire within, man. I bet if Frank Reich at offensive coordinator, especially since no one will patch him. Well, wait. I bet it's Frank. Okay. No one will poach him. Okay, yeah, it could be. It definitely. That I mean, he'll be right there with Nick Sirianni and have that. Hey, that's a nice fit. I like that fit. Bring Frank Reich back. He has success here, and that'll be crazy, right? And then and now he can call the plays. He know Frank Reich. They know each other well, and hey, hmm, that may work. Honestly, that may work, bro. I can't say no. I can't say nothing about that. It's a Howie thing. There were three people at a table. The first guy says, "I'm so fast, I might be the fastest man in the world." Yeah, okay, Brian. I said the same thing, bro. If BJ could another team. Yeah, watch. That's what's gonna happen. It always happen with us. Can you remove the character limit in the chat? I don't think so. I don't know. Why? What's your thought on Hurts? What he said, hey X, what's your thought on what Hurts said? I think mid-season that some people are not invested. I mean that's kind of self-explanatory, right? A lot of people weren't there's some players that, and there's some players and coaches, whoever they weren't invested. So when you have Jalen Hurts calling out his teammates or coaching or whoever, yeah, something is not right. You know something ain't right when Jalen Hurts is calling out people. And everybody here, make sure you guys smash that like button. Let's see if there's any other updates for the Philadelphia Eagles, because there's a lot that's been going on. Um yeah, that looks like that. There's no other reports for now. We all know Matt Patricia is gone, right? His contract expired. So yeah, man, we just rented these coordinators. We just rented these coordinators for a year, and man, it's horrible when you have to figure out, how to solidify your coaching staff. Man, that's not something. It's not a good feeling. I'm not gonna lie to you. When you don't know who's running the show, when you don't know who's running the show, it's a lot of people who like Ron Rivera. It's a lot of people who like Ron Rivera, and I'm on board. I'm on board right? He's an old school hard nosed guy. Y'all gonna tackle. He gonna make sure that I think he'll be more of that old school mindset to where it's gonna start with fundamentals and especially tackling, right? I think he's a hard nosed kind of a guy. That's what this defense need. Uh, are we going to draft a cornerback in the first round? I pray to God. I pray we don't. I pray we don't. I pray we don't. I pray we go get a linebacker or a safety. If Frank Wright comes aboard, Nick better learn this time around because he was with Frank on the Chargers and Colts and still had this team collapse. I mean, he didn't do any. He didn't call plays. That was all Frank Wright. So Frank with the Colts, he never called plays, but he was the offensive coordinator. So what were you doing? Right? What were you doing? So just you bring Frank Wright back as the offensive coordinator, man. He's as long Frank Wright calling plays. Again, I've said this multiple times in this live stream. When you try to take a offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator and make them a head coach and give them opportunities as a head coach, a lot of times it's too much on their plate and they're not able to adjust from being just a coordinator, right? So sometimes it's best to take a step back. So Frank Reich take a step back just as an offensive coordinator. I mean, with Nick, I think, man, it could do something. I think he'll be able to fix Jalen Hurts. He got the best out of Carson, right? But then he tried to run it back with Carson with the Colts and didn't look right. So I mean, he's had a bad stint. I mean, he was fired from the Colts. He was fired from the Panthers as a head coach. So I don't know, man. It's hard to even bring losers in, right? So you're gonna go get a losing coach, two losing coaches from. I mean, two coaches that were fired. I mean, man, ugh. But I feel like we'll be settling if we go for these guys, honestly. Man, they have to figure it out, okay? Because if they don't, we're gonna go through the same thing. It's gonna be coaching. Okay, it's gonna be coaching. Right? Coaching is huge. So they're gonna have to figure it out, man. They definitely gonna have to figure it out. It's been an hour. I gotta get off of here. That's the stream, guys. This is the voice of the Eagles showing like always. God bless those Philadelphia Eagles.